Len, so we're at Algae Sciences.
Welcome.
Thank you. This is what do we have here? We got all these contraptions and green juice going around, and what do you do here, really?
Well, actually, that's blue-green juice.
Blue-green juice, yes.
It looks green, but it's blue.
Okay.
That's an algae called spirulina.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and it's one of the most well-known algae. Algae are like pond scum, but this is good pond scum. Okay. And our core business is around taking out the blue from the green.
Okay.
And we're going to show you all sorts of products, and we're going to show you this particular colorant that we take from this algae.
And spirulina is amazing in the antioxidants and high in protein, and so you're using it in all sorts of different products?
It's mostly the blue in spirulina that has the antioxidant and all the health benefits.
Yeah.
So this thing is called a photobioreactor. What it does is that in order to grow algae, you need two things. You need light and you need carbon dioxide. Okay? So this gives it light through these light panels over here, and the carbon dioxide comes all the way from the brewery downstairs through a pipe which runs all along here. So this is a zero waste production.
Amazing.
Instead of the carbon dioxide going into the atmosphere, it comes over to us, and that's what the algae need to grow.
Wow. Algae is growing from beer.
Yeah, basically. So if you come along this way,
Sure.
I can show you we have different algae growing, and what we basically do is we're trying to develop a sustainable, zero waste food system.
Wow.
That is an algae called spirulina,
Uh-huh.
and that is an algae called chlorella.
Oh, chlorella.
Okay? That is a very, very, very healthy algae, but the two are mortal enemies. So you cannot grow them together, okay? Because one of them is going to win. So we grow them separately. And we use chlorella here for agricultural research.
Okay.
We are basically taking this chlorella, and we have a big farm in Indiana, and we are testing whether it helps plants, in this case corn, to grow faster.
Really? Wow. So you're using algae to help grow plants, and normally, like, people wouldn't think about doing that. What kind of motivated you to start working with algae?
Well, I started just working to make food colorant, blue food colorant.
Uh-huh.
And if we come over here, I can show you what our food colorant looks like. And then just now I'm going to pour you a drink with our food colorant. This is blue spirulina.
Okay.
Isn't that amazing that that comes from that green liquid over there?
Yeah, because most of the time when you see something that color, it's some sort of artificial, like, ingredient that's so bright, and that's coming from algae.
Well, the world wants to move over to natural colors. Consumers want it because they think that chemical colors are dangerous. And all the big food companies like Mars, Candy, are all saying that they want to move to natural colors and not use chemical colors.
Great.
What we've been working on is trying to make that cheaper and more sustainable.
Amazing. And how do you do that?
Well, one of the ways we do that is through what we're developing here, and that is the circular economy, zero waste. So there you see an anaerobic digester.
Uh-huh.
That's a small one, like John's big one outside.
Yeah, we saw the big one, yeah.
So we take that, we digest all the food waste, and then we clean it, and we use it to grow the algae.
Wow.
So that's zero waste.
Amazing. So what other products is this going to be in that you're working on?
Well, when we go to the other side, I'll show you
Sure.
some of our products.
Yeah.
But essentially, most of our products are derived from this blue powder here, which is called phycocyanin. And we have a very big plant in Utah.
Uh-huh.
So that's where we actually make the blue dye now.
Okay.
Okay, but so here's where we prepare all the production protocols, the way it's going to be produced in Utah. If you come over here, I'll show you some of the products which are, oh, let's stop here.
Yeah.
Look at that. Here we're busy doing an experiment, and we're busy purifying some of the blue. Isn't that an amazing blue?
Wow. It looks like a pool. I mean, the same, almost similar color.
Do you want to try it?
Yeah, I'll try it.
Well, I just happen to have prepared a little surprise for you.
Awesome. I feel like I'm gonna get my blood
Would you
drawn
like
here.
to taste the world's first organic natural curacao?
I mean, of course I would like to taste that. Is there a question you need to ask?
It's like after 5 o'clock somewhere. So I'm going to mix you the world's first organic curacao. Katie's now going to add the blue.
Wow.
I'm going to shake it up a bit. Now I'm going to add some kombucha concentrate, which is something which we made in the lab.
Okay. So I'm a science experiment right now.
Yeah.
That works.
And of course, just a tiny shot of organic vodka and gin, all from Chicago.
Oh, great. There's not enough stairs in this place. I'll be okay.
Not too much, just for flavor. Ooh, I think we're there.
In my scientific background, I would say yes, we're there.
Well, why don't you
So,
try
do I
that?
sip or you want me to take a shot?
As you wish.
Ooh, it smells amazing. Hey, you want to cheers? As the Greeks say, sinayasu.
Like the TV chefs do.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Isn't
actually,
that amazing?
that is really good. Yeah, and I think a lot of times people, when they think of spirulina or chlorella, they think of like a gross flavor or something that you have to do in a shot. And this, yeah, literally had no taste at all.
Well, most of our struggle is basically around trying to make algae edible.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'm going to show you some products now where we're the first in the world to do that. You know.
Amazing.
As you have so wisely and cleverly observed, the big problem with algae is that it doesn't taste good.
Right.
It tastes like pond scum. So what we have done is we've developed new kinds of products. And the product which I'm most proud of, which was developed by young Gian and myself, and Gian was my intern, a 21-year-old kid, and myself, we developed an algal heme, algal blood. We're the first people to develop a non-GMO, in other words, non-genetically modified, plant-based blood for burgers.
Wow.
And we have it in this burger here and these little meatballs, and we're going to grow those for you. And more recently, we've developed an algae-based fish flavoring
Sushi.
for sushi. And the problem that we have at the moment is that when we're giving this to people, they're saying, no, there's fish in there. There's fish in there,
Right.
you know. And this is a crab cake. Wow. And we're going to warm these, except for the sushi, of course.
Sure.
And you're welcome to taste them. So isn't that amazing that this is made from this stuff here,
That is great.
you know, which is algae. And you can have a sniff and see if you can smell the meaty smell.
Yeah, there is a little bit of, yeah, it's not quite as much as like a raw beef, but there is a little hint there. So what else is in this that gives it that texture?
Well, it's a normal plant-based food recipe,
Yeah.
but we've essentially added the thing that's most important. Why this is so important is because if you can get the flavor right, you can use more sustainable sources of protein.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, we are very dependent now on soy and pea.
Yeah.
But if you can get the flavoring right, then you can move on to much more sustainable proteins that can be grown, like mushroom proteins, like oats,
Yeah.
and this sort of thing, which are less environmentally damaging than soy and pea,
Yeah.
which require a lot of industrial processing.
So what would this be comparable to, you know, your quote unquote typical source of protein burger? What is it? How many grams of protein would that have?
This would be the same as your Beyond Burger.
Okay.
In fact, a lot of our experiments, what we do is we take the cheapest plant-based burgers we can find in the supermarket, and then we add in the heme to improve the taste, you know. I also think that, you know, we're going to become less and less obsessed with protein.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think our diet has enough protein in it, you know. And I think we're going to become much more concerned about the real health benefits of a burger or
Yeah.
something like that. And what's very interesting about these products, this blue, is it's a very strong microbiome stimulant. In other words, it stimulates the guts. And we have experiments going on now in all sorts of applications even things like childhood cancer.
Wow.
We have an experiment ongoing now with the university in Spain for the leaders in leukemia. We were checking now if this can stimulate the gut enough to protect the mice. This is a very, very potent microbiome stimulator.
Wow.
One of the applications of these algae extracts is to be able to grow, you've heard of lab-grown meat or cultured meat?
Yeah.
The idea that we wouldn't need a cow anymore, that we, we're a pig, that we could just do it in a test tube, basically, or in a big reactor.
Yeah.
And the algae extracts can help a lot in making this a reality. So we have these robots which we test the algae extracts when we're growing meat or fish or something like that. They're outside now because we're rebuilding our laboratory, but you can see these are giant machines which basically test, they test the algae extracts to see how we can get the meat or the fish to grow faster.
Wow.
And not to have to use any animal products to grow this meat and fish. Here you can see an experiment that's underway. This is a special grow room. It's a very sophisticated room. And what we're doing here is we're testing the algae, an extract of algae, to see if it makes the plants grow faster and better. We've already published a lot of data on this, and now we're testing another one of our extracts. And so that one is being fed with the algae, and the one which says control isn't getting it. And you can start to see a slight difference in the color.
Yeah.
Okay. It's very early on. It's only a week or so that we're running it. And then eventually what will happen is this one, we hope, at least we're sure, will outgrow it and we'll be able to harvest it earlier. And this is hugely important because the quicker you can harvest, the less light you use, the less energy you use. And the problem with vertical farming like lettuce and all that is it uses a huge amount of energy indoors. So here's a way that we can make vertical farming more sustainable. And we have we have a lot of interest in this, especially from Asia, where there are very, very big vertical farms operating. So these are clean rooms, which means that they are always getting the air pushed in so that there's no dirty air coming in. The air comes in through the big filters on top, and then the rooms are kept absolutely clean. And it's in here where we grow things like meat, fish, anything which requires to be started off in a very sterile way.
Yeah.
And
it's interesting to hear grow things like meat and fish. Never thought I would have heard that.
so when you're growing a mushroom or an algae, you really want to know what it is. So we want to know its genetic structure in order to be able to make sure that this is like a totally natural mushroom that we're growing. And then we do more sophisticated stuff to work out how we can get the maximum out of it. Okay, and we have Nikki, who is our sequencing expert. She works in this particular room, and she'll give us like a map of a particular mushroom. And this is very exciting because this is really cutting edge.
How many different mushrooms do you work with?
We work with all the major food mushrooms, but we're always looking for mushrooms which grow well in liquid culture, in other words, in cell culture, because it's not that easy to grow mushrooms like, in a mushroom farm,
Right.
and it's quite dangerous and quite labor intensive. So we're trying to develop systems whereby you can grow mushrooms in 20,000 gallon tanks. But that's quite a lot of research still got to go into there.
Yeah.
And now I want to show you something really cool. So you want to learn how to do cell culture, how to grow your own meat?
Yeah, I mean, why not? I think that's every person's
actually,
dream to grow their own meat, right?
In Japan, there are a lot of people who do it like at home in their bathrooms.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you could do chicken in there. So it all happens in this particular place over here. This is a sterile hood, and what the scientists do is they basically work in there and manipulate the cells and all that kind of thing. And then it goes into these things which are called incubators. And the incubator has to be like the body. So that's why you have these tanks here of carbon dioxide. So the cells need 4 or 5% carbon dioxide to grow. Then what happens is the scientists, they look at the, Nikki and Eric, they look at the cells under the microscope and watch them grow. But I thought I'd show you something else. This is the coolest toy we have. This is a microscope with an iPad. So here, for example, you can see, this is spirulina over here. Yeah, this is what you saw, the green stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I'm not a vegan, okay? I am not a vegetarian. My view is that it's got to taste good.
You're a
and be good for the planet.
Good taste person. That works. Good for the planet. I like that.
Looks pretty meaty, doesn't it?
I would have no idea that it wasn't a animal source protein. But now, as a kid, if somebody said you were going to be grilling a plant-based protein, would you say that? Yeah, you wouldn't believe them?
Impossible.
Impossible?
You know, the closest you got to plant-based, you know, somebody threw a corn cob on the grill or potato. That was it.
There you go.
Nothing greener than that.
Yeah. That's my family's from southern Missouri, so I'm right with you. It was meat and potatoes. I would never thought that I would be eating something that looked like a burger that didn't come from an animal. All right, so we're going sushi first here?
Yeah, let's try the sushi.
Okay. Good texture. You can taste the fish, though there's a little kick to it.
Yeah, we have a lot of difficulty in convincing people that that's not real tuna, you know.
I would probably rather eat that than real tuna, because sometimes the tuna, if it's not really fresh tuna, it's much harder to actually get that flavor profile.
Yeah, you know, I think most of it's about getting the subtle taste.
Yeah.
If you're in Japan and you're having tuna, it doesn't taste fishy.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, anybody can make something taste fishy. This is like this. It's got to be more to it. And that's what we're looking for.
Good thing you got the scientist.
Well.
Crab cake?
Yeah, try some crab cake.
Okay, I'll take the big piece. And
Cool. I'll have the leftovers.
That is very good. I could see that in a restaurant with like some sort of sauce on top of it, or maybe a little avocado, or a sandwich. That's very delicious. We got meatballs.
Yeah, let's do a meatball. Here the aim is to get the the meatball taste.
And it smells like the same spices. Yeah. It's very good. And the spices to it.
You see, the thing is that what our ingredients do is they cut the off taste, the bad taste. Often with this plant-based meat, you get a lot of off taste, especially from the soy. It lingers in your mouth, and it's not a great taste.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it kind of cuts through it, and you get that meaty aftertaste.
Yeah, you do have that after. You're right. Often the plant-based products will have that kind of strange aftertaste to it, where it was good going down, but afterwards, you feel like you need to have something else to wash it down.
Well, burger time.
Burger time. It was very good too. Good consistency. And I'll have another bite.
That's the test. When you, if a non-vegetarian or vegan wants another one, to me, that's where I test.
So you guys passed the test because I went for a second?
Yeah, to me that's very important. Yeah.
Nice work.
And again, no aftertaste. Even that itself is worth just so much. To getting more people to eat plant-based foods.
Well, If everything tastes like this, I don't think you'll have a problem convincing them.
Well, we'll see. The test is in the tasting.
Well, nice work. I appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was really a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. I'll come back when the whole kitchen's ready to go.
Oh, yeah.